Hi everyone. I am at one of my local state parks today. Just wanted to get out for some fresh air. This is Lackawanna State Park. And I just parked at the state park office. And right now I'm on the tunnel trail. I've done this trail before. And it will bring you to a tunnel that takes you under Route 407. But I literally got out of the car and heard a pileated. So I walked towards the sound, and sure enough, there was a pileated. So I didn't get it on camera, but I did take a couple shots with my camera, so hopefully those came out and I'll put those in the video. But we are coming up to the tunnel, so I'm going to spin you around. Alright, so I've only gone through this once before, and at that time the water wasn't bad, so we were able to walk through. But if not, you can just take this little path and walk across 407. Let me see what it's like. Oh, there's quite a bit of water in here. And it looks pretty deep. Let me see. Yeah, it's pretty deep, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the road and go across. Last time it wasn't deep and we were able to walk through. It's a little tricky getting across 407. Traffic is usually pretty fast on here. So I'm going to turn you off. I'll bring you back when I'm safely across. Okay, so I'm safely across, and this brings us to the Turkey Hill Trail. And if we keep going, we should come down to Kennedy Creek. I don't know if you heard me with the car going by, but it should take us down to Kennedy Creek, which is one of my favorite areas in the park. And our first little bridge. I'm not sure if this is part of Kennedy Creek or not. This creek isn't even on my map, so. There's a little junction here. So if we go to the left, takes us back through the tunnel that was flooded. Or if we go to the right, that's the Ranger Trail, which is what we're going to take. But we're already coming to one of the big stone walls, fences here in the park. Ooh, that looks like it's ready to fall. We're gonna walk quickly under that. But these stone walls are all throughout the park. Most farmers use these types of walls to mark the boundary of their properties. Let's get up here, you can get it better. Look at that, it keeps going all the way up there and then goes left and right. Today is March 28th and it's currently 51 degrees. Tomorrow it's supposed to get into the 70s, but one moment I check the weather, it says rain all day. The next, rain in the afternoon, so I'm not really sure whether there's going to be rain or not tomorrow. And decided to get out today. Wow, look at this fence. Wall, whatever you want to call it. And as far as I know, the park doesn't work on them. So this is how they've stood for many years. My guess would be the 1800s, but I could be off. I'll have to check the park history to see if they date the stone walls within the park. Look at that. I mean, still standing. And they're in pretty good shape. I am still on the Ranger Trail. I just crossed over Route 524. Lackawanna State Park is 1,445 acres. It's in northeastern Pennsylvania, 10 miles north of Scranton. The centerpiece of the park is the 198-acre Lackawanna Lake. There are 18 miles of trails within the park. Hiking trails, that is. There are additional multi-use trails that explore forests, fields, lakeshore areas, and woodland streams. There are 3 boat launches around the lake. They have a limited number of boat mooring spaces that are available on a seasonal basis. There is a boat concession near the swimming pool, and it rents various types of boats. And the website says that there are about 15 miles of multi-use trails that wind through the park. I do enjoy the trails here, but I have to say my favorite part about Lackawanna State Park is being out on the lake. It's a pretty big lake. I don't think I've ever kayaked the whole thing in one visit. I usually start at either one end or the other. But my favorite launch is from the Bullhead Bay. It takes you down a bunch of canals, and there's always lots of wildlife there. You can see the lake in the distance there. I can see a kayaker out there already. And this bridge that's right over here, that's the 407 bridge. I have kayaked under that. But yeah, there's a kayaker right out there. I haven't been out of my kayak yet. Like I said, it's March 28th, and the temperatures haven't been consistent. You know, we'll have a day that hits 60, and then we're back down into the 30s. In fact, a couple weeks ago, I think it was March 10th, I was at the Lackawanna Sanctuary in Lake Area, and the lake there and the ponds were still frozen, and we had hiked to Lake Wallenpaupack, and that was still frozen. So it's nice to see this open water. Hopefully as we get into April, we'll have more consistent weather and I'll be able to get out on the kayak. So if you follow the channel, you know I've been on a quest to get to all of Pennsylvania state parks, and I only have one left, Allegheny Islands State Park, and I have that trip booked for the end of May. But yesterday I think I was having a little bit of anxiousness because this has been a goal for the last couple of years and it's almost complete. So I started looking up all of the preserves in Pennsylvania, and as I started to dig into it, it's going to be a lot of research, I think, because I couldn't find any list of all of the preserves in Pennsylvania. When I searched, it was bringing up all of the land conservancies. Ooh, I think we're at Kennedy Creek already. I think I see it down there. So then I started trying to make a list of all of the land conservancies in Pennsylvania. And I'm going to try to put together a list of all of the preserves. Many of them that are close by I've been to, but there's so many that I've never even heard of. So that's going to be a nice quest to begin researching all of that and hopefully visiting more of the preserves in Pennsylvania. When I headed out today, I wasn't sure where I wanted to head to. Did I want to try a preserve or come here to Lackawanna State Park that I'm much more familiar with, and it's close too. But I decided to come here and do a little bit more research on the preserves before I start heading out to some of them. But I got here really quick. This is really what I wanted to see. We bring our kayaks here and we paddle down to Kennedy Creek. And it's just a beautiful little section because it's so quiet. There's always wildlife. And sometimes Lackawanna Lake can be a little choppy, but this never is, so it's nice to come down here and just relax, enjoy nature on the kayak. And it's fun to have these little obstacle courses. I don't know if you can see it, but there's trees down over the creek and you have to go under them or over them with your kayak. And then all the way down here, there used to be, oh, that's interesting. Okay, do we want the death trap or the easy peasy? I think we'll take the death trap. Let's see how it is. We can always come back. Oh, back to what I was saying. There used to be two bridges down here to get over to Kennedy Creek, and then on the other side there are connecting trails if you wanted to do a really long hike. Okay, so far this is not a death trap. I mean, there's some tree roots, but definitely been on trails that were much sketchier. Oh, that's a beautiful shot right there. Oh, there's someone hiking up there. So I think my decision is going to be, do I hike back to the state park where I parked and then hike down to the dam? Because I already see the two bridges in the distance there. I feel like I got here a lot quicker than I did the last time I hiked this trail. Beautiful. Here's the sign for Kennedy Creek. Mud. Bring it up here so you can see the bridges. We're gonna go up on the bridge, but we're not gonna do the trails on that side. But I just wanted to see the water flow. Beautiful. These look rather new. I know that these have washed out at different times and they've replaced them. This one looks a little bit older than the other one. I think it's a little higher up too. Alright, so we're going to head back a little bit and pick up the ranger trail back to the state park office. This takes us away from the creek, so this will be mostly a woodland walk back to the car. And we'll see how I feel when I get back to the car. If I want to hike to the dam. Alright, so this is coming back to 524. I'll have to cross over again. that was a kingfisher. And there's the state park sign. Forgot about this little connector trail. This is the Bear Paw. This takes us back to the Turkey Hill Trail. So lately I've been thinking about getting muck boots for stream crossings, because as I've been looking at some of the preserves, you're crossing the creeks sometimes multiple times, and I don't really want to wear my hiking boots to do that. I do have hiking sandals. I think they're Keens. The only problem with those is I tend to get rocks in them from hiking, and also there's much less protection for your foot if you stub your foot on something like that. So I've been thinking about the muck boots, but then a lot of the channels that I watch, they just get Crocs. You know, they'll hike in their hiking boots, and then when they get to a stream that they have to cross, they'll throw on their Crocs to keep their boots dry. So that's another option. Tell me what you think in the comments. Do you prefer just going right through with your hiking boots? Do you hike in hiking sandals? You bring shoes to change into, like Crocs or hiking sandals? Let me know. We have made it back to the junction with Turkey Hill Trail. And we're going to go right to get back to the car. Okay, so I brought you back for all of the bird songs, but Mr. Pileated, or Mrs. Pileated, is still straight ahead. You might be able to see the little head bobbing on the tree. There you go. Alright, so it is straight ahead. It's going up the tree. Oh, that's nice. Side profile there. And it's almost at the tippy top there. Waiting to see if it flies. Oh. There it goes. Okay, so I came up with plan B. I got back to the car and I think I had hiked 2.89 miles. So I took a look at the park map and noticed that there's a parking lot that's close to the dam. So I drove from the park office to parking lot 5. And I think this is going to take me down to the dam, this trail. You can hear a lot of water flow, so I think I'm pretty close. On the map, it looks like a short distance, maybe a quarter of a mile from parking lot 5. Oh, and I can see it. Lackawanna State Park is a great park for what it is. You know, there isn't some breathtaking view. The only one that's popping in my head right now is from the Appalachian Trail, the Pinnacle and Pulpit. But there's no view like that. There's no natural waterfall, but you still have beautiful woodland trails. That section that I just did along Kennedy Creek, I love. I think it's beautiful. There's been issues with the swimming pool here for years. Oh wow, there's still some ice over there. So they put in a new pool, and I think they ended up having structural issues with that. So then I think they took it out and they put a new one in. And then I think that there's been issues getting lifeguards. But I just took a quick look at the park website, and it doesn't say anything about the pool being closed. It just says that it usually opens Memorial Day weekend, and then from mid-June until August, it's usually open, I think 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. So I love that little bridge down there. I might take a walk down there because it gives you a good view of the water coming over the spillway. And there's a pretty big campground here. I'll look at my information on the park and I'll put it in a note as to how many sites there are, etc. It is close to Scranton, so you're going to have a very populated campground, I think, but other than that, I don't think there's any complaints about it. I think I'm going to take a walk down so that you can see the full view of the front of the spillway. Alright, we're back. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? got to see two of my favorite sections of the park, the Kennedy Creek area and the dam area. Beautiful. You can even see the ice up there. At the top there. Let's go out on the bridge. If you've watched this entire video, thank you. I appreciate everyone who views my videos. If you're a subscriber, thank you. Welcome back. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It helps the channel out, pushes the video out so more people can see it. Also, if you ring that bell, you'll get notifications when I put up new videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.